Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Let me know if you can hear me properly because I seem to mess up at least something every time I try to stream through whatever, something else than my phone. I can hear you. Perfect. Hello and welcome. I'm sorry there was no stream the last week, but I was absolutely exhausted and I'm making food. What are you making, Wolf? Tell me. I haven't had dinner yet, so yeah, go ahead, make me hungry. Okay. Hello. My camera is messed up. Why? Okay, better. Hello. As you can see, I already started with work on my shelves. I already finished my Haikyuu shelf today. For those of you who don't follow me on my TikTok, I will be uploading a video later on. So, yay. um, this part is still in works because I need to put the Nandroids together and then I can work on this little thing. Can stay up for this. Where are you this where are you this time, Wolf, that you are staying awake? Okay, for Nova it's 2:30. Perfect. Hey, I'm very happy that you stayed awake, even though I don't condone staying late for insignificant stuff. 4:30. Even better. Gosh. Um yeah. So apologies for the last week. I don't know what got into me, but I was really tired. I think it was because the previous 2 weekends I was working, and even though our weekend shifts aren't like full on shift, like it's not 8 hours, it's less than 4 hours actually. It depends on how fast you work. But it kind of did a number on me. And last weekend I had trouble with switching off, I think. So I was really tired. So unfortunately I couldn't bring myself to turn on the stream. Uh Empanadas. That sounds familiar. I just don't remember how it looks. Describe, please. It sounds delicious. I have school tomorrow. You go to school on Sunday? Really? Oh jeez. That's awful. Or is it Sunday already and you have school on Monday? I'm not sure if your time goes backwards or well, it has to go forward, right? Backwards wouldn't work because it's more than 12. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so it's Sunday for you. All right. Good. I'm home. I understand. Oh hey, Stream Elements bot decided to turn up. Nice. So yeah, I am very proud of my manga stacking skills. However, I still can't fit all the stuff that I want to fit on this. I still didn't put up all the acrylic stands, so I will put them somewhere. Um, Unfortunately, I can't take you closer like this with the webcam. If I was streaming on phone, I could take you closer to take a closer look. However, I am indeed proud of this, and I might upload that video to shorts as well on the channel so that you can see. Um, yeah, and the Windbreaker shelf also looks pretty good. Just to inform you about what's going to happen in the rest of them. Uh, this one, don't mind this one because that's going to be closed up. This is the door. I still didn't get to actually turn around. This is the door. I still didn't get to putting it together because it's annoying as fuck. And so I was thinking this one, like this whole bookshelf is probably going to be like aesthetic shelves, so to say. So this one is going to be Sakamoto Days because I have a lot of merch and figures for Sakamoto Days. And I have one big Nagumo figure pre-ordered, like scale figure, which I'm super excited about. I am not very excited about paying for it because it's expensive on its own and the shipping is going to kill me probably. And then followed by customs and fees. But hey, it's once in a lifetime opportunity. I couldn't leave him there. So this is going to be Sakamoto's shelf, and then I think this is going to be Frieren shelf because I don't collect manga for it yet. So either I have figures. I only have figures for Frieren. By the way, there are 2 new figures for from Frieren in this box, but we are not going to be opening this one. We could open this box, but we will see. So Frieren shelf, BL shelf, and I will see about the rest. ASMR, you know. I did try to make it ASMR. I decided not to in the end. However, I might upload the ASMR version, like shortened version of it, later on. So you will get your ASMR. What are some headcanons you have for the characters? You will have to narrow it down because most characters I have headcanons for are like side characters, like very much side characters. So they are pretty much built on my headcanons. The versions you know from the channel are my headcanons solely. So narrow it down and I will tell you. Maybe. Yeah. I mostly have like mental struggles and family situation headcanons for them. So it's not like their favorite stuff and things like that. It's mostly headcanons so that I can build stories for them. I'm eating, so it's good. Yeah. 4 a.m. snack. That does sound good, to be fair. I would like to get 4 a.m. snack, however, I would get sick. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but I put maybe in the title of this live stream. Maybe to reading manga because I'm not entirely sure if I will manage. Because I wanted to stream mostly to talk because I need someone to talk to. And you know, you are the best talking buddies I can get on a short notice. Okay, that sounded bad, but I like to talk to my community, so yeah, I want to talk for the most part. I think we could do at least one chapter today. I have it ready, so we can do chapter 7 at least, and we will see about chapter 8, but I mostly wanted to talk because, as always, I'm going to complain. As always, I'm going to complain about my work. Um, but I also have some plans, forced plans to be fair, because of the current situation at my workplace. But it's something I wanted to talk about purely for myself and my mental capacity, uh, rather than like it being important for the channel and such. But yeah, I like to talk to. So Dasha Taichi Kunime Kindachi Shirabusame. Okay. Um So for Taichi, for example, I do have headcanons about him having hemophilia. Where did it come from? No idea. I just like it. And that his family is quite shitty. Like that he comes from a shitty family situation, especially like his father is not a good person. For the rest of the family, I'm kind of 50-50 on that, especially on his sister. But I'm more inclined to headcanon her as being like supportive from a distance, so to say, like that she would have to pretend for the sake of the family, but she's on her brother's side and stuff like that. Um, for Kunime, I don't really have that many headcanons, to be fair, because we do know quite a lot about Kunime. So for Kunime, there's not that much. For Dasha, there's quite a lot, I would say. Um, for Dasha, it's mainly that he's rich, like rich. I like to make his family, at least his father, a lawyer when I write anything with Dasha, and that they are super supportive because I think it's funny that he, as the most like, I don't want to say villainous character, but like they are there to be villains in a way. So him being the biggest rage baiter and having the most supportive family you can imagine uh is kind of funny to me. So I had kind of that being the case, like him having a really loving family uh and coming from a rich background because it's fun. Shirabu Same. For Same, it's mainly headcanons with high school and like his approach to being switched for Shirabu on court in high school, and like how he dealt with it, and his tendency to overwork himself a little bit and not talk about his emotions too much because he doesn't feel like it's important enough. And for Shirabu, it's that his family is super strict and like, you know, that's upper class posh kind of people who need to have everything lined up the way they imagined it, which is part of the reason why Shirabu went to med school. Um, but that he doesn't really like get along with them, especially with his parents, and yeah, it seeps into the writing, of course. And also that his parents never accepted Sammy as his boyfriend. Like they would be not okay, but they would overlook their son dating a guy. But they would want someone like lawyer, doctor, whatever, to be his partner, not a lowly civil servant, and especially a musician. So, yeah, those are my headcanons. As I said, it's mostly family situation and mental struggles. Hirma, Dasha, Oiko, and Tsukishima in the room together. To be fair, I think Dasha is the most sensitive one out of them. I always like have this feeling when people put the like who is there? Dasha, Tsukishima, Oikawa, I think, and Suna, something like that, in one room, and like who's going to go out crying first? And I'm always like, it's going to be Dasha. He's going to be Dasha because like he's rage baiting, but I don't believe that he's like hardened enough to withstand Tsukishima's saltiness. Um, like we get a glimpse of that at the end of the OVA, or at the end of the volume that belongs to them, with how he reacts to Mika coming back to him and saying like, "Hey, I understand why you care about the volleyball so much." That he's actually like a really sensitive person. So yeah. Kava would cry, but Show would run out of the room first. Yeah, definitely. I think Oikawa would manage to like dispel some of Tsukishima's comments. Uh, but yeah, depends on how far Tsukishima would go. Um, yeah. So Dasha would definitely be running out of that room pretty fast. I had kind of Mika being the biggest rage baiter. To be fair, I can see that. Yeah, I could see that. It would be funny. Like I personally, I loved Anasho, right? And Terusho overall. Um, that's nothing against Mika, obviously. I know they are canon, but I like Daisha with men a bit more. But I do like to keep Mika around for uh, whichever ship with Dasho I create. Um, so I don't like you know taking her away from the relationship, because it wouldn't be fair, because like they have a normal relationship and they like each other. So I just like Dasha with men a little more. It just also reminds me of when someone asked ages ago on Twitter, I think, and um, I don't like differentiating, like splitting the ships at top and bottom, because I think it's nonsensical for the most part for the stories I write. But I do have my preferences for this when I actually go read some smut. Um, and there was a question: who would be a bottom even in a straight relationship? And uh, Dasha was mentioned, and I fully believe that. So, so much about that. I think they would run out first purely because he would be tired. Maybe. If we put Kita, Sakusa, Daichi, and Ushijima as roommates, their house would be so clean. True, very true. And very much organized. It would be a museum. You could put them in a museum and they would probably thrive. What do you think about it? So I don't want to say it would be boring, but like, there wouldn't be much excitement in that room or in that house. Yeah. By the way, speaking of Dasho, I I am currently working on another part for the Terusho Anotana series or storyline. Um, that plot point was supposed to be 2 parts. I'm currently on part 4. However, I would say that for this particular point in this plot point, if that makes sense, that's all. So instead of 2 parts, it's going to be 4. I'm almost done with part 4. So, yeah, it's going to be a little angsty for Dasha, obviously, because this is his arc. And we will see how we will go. And it is pushing the storyline much closer to the climax, which is something I'm very much excited about, because I've been working on this for 2.5 years already. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing it go to that point. I have it all planned out. I have all the notes. I just have to get there. That is still going to take a little while, but I think we could be done in December if I don't get lazy. I think we could be done this year. Terrified. As you should be. But not yet, I would say. It's not as necessary so far. However, I am proud of myself for part 3 in particular. That's going to be fun. Not going to be too much fun to voice it, because I kind of fell out of the rhythm, I would say, with how I took the break. Because I'm still working on some stories. I'm pre-writing scripts, and I do have some voiced already. I already sent them to my editor. However, it's my voice is not working too well, so I will have to get into it a little bit later on. How do you think Kita would do with handling Karasuno without Daichi? Hmm, that's an interesting scenario. I think he wouldn't do as bad, because like Kita is used to having wild ones with Atsumu and Osamu. However, I would say that Inarizaki is slightly calmer than Karasuno, because in Inarizaki you have 2 idiots. In Karasuno you have 4 idiots. um so I actually think Tsukishima might be glad for Kita as captain. Maybe. Hmm. I'm thinking. But like I think Kita would figure it out somehow. However, I think Hinata and Kageyama would end up traumatized. So yeah, interesting one to imagine. Because he wouldn't be able to do the slacking off with the jumps. Uh, yeah, possible. I'm terrified for August uploads. To be fair, first uploads are going to be the mini series or mini arc that I have for Monoship. I'm not going to tell which one just yet. But I think the timing is interesting for this particular one. I will tell you why once we get to it. But let's just say I just finished. It's 3 parts. I just finished writing part 2, and then something happened in Japan that very much was very much similar to what I was writing about. And it was in a similar place, which is kind of funny. Why the timing is great is because I had this idea for like 2 or 3 months before I started working on it. And then the nature just goes, okay, like you weren't sure if this is possible. I will show you. Great. Will I like it? I think you will. Especially with the proposal coming up. I think you will be happy. I still don't know whose wedding I should work on. Wealth, you have a list. Which ships are waiting the longest for a wedding? The ones that are engaged. I think Yakulev and Aofuta got engaged around the same time, which means they've been waiting for quite a while. So, who's waiting the longest? Or who do you think is waiting the longest? I'm terrified for Roomtober because I barely survived last year. I was actually thinking about writing something for Roomtober again. I didn't see any list yet, so I will have to look it up and see if there's something interesting on it. What did we do last year for Roomtober, by the way? Last year was Poliship Roomtober, right? Ivoi, Kinkuni, Aufuta, Yakulev, Ushiten. I would say Ushiden and Ivoi waited the longest. Very true. However, with Ivaoi, there is the issue with like planning the wedding. Kinkuni, that's true. I could do Kinkuni wedding when I think about it. Yeah, I think I will do Kinkuni or Alfuta wedding. Torture poor Taichi, what did he do? Oh, actually, I have a perfect story for Womptober, for October. It's one that's been sitting in my notes for the last 2 years. Like, I've worked on that script or that idea when I was still working in the museum, which is over 2 years ago. So it's actually much older. It's like 3 year old. 3 years old. Maybe even more. And I still didn't get to it. And I need to get into it. However, I think it's going to be like viewer discretion advised for this one. It's not going to be bloody, but it's going to be disgusting. However, I do remember putting up a poll about this, and from what I remember, you all voted for going all out in this regard. So we are going all out. Hopefully this year is going to be that year. You got him kidnapped. Okay, that's 2 years ago, actually. That's the corn maze. That was 2 years ago, I think. Because last year was Bloody Trail and the other ones. I don't remember. I need to check. I know it was Bloody Trail. That was Semishira Kawagata when Taichi fell through that table and cut his hand. Or cut his arm. Because that's going to be important later. So I needed to go for that. Yeah, Ominous October was 2 years ago already. Yeah. 3 years ago, actually. 2023. Oh, Jesus Christ. I've been doing this for a long while. I've been doing this for so long. I am losing track. Womptober, hey. 2024, that's 2 years ago. Jesus Christ, what did I do last year? What did I wrote last year for Womptober? I don't know. It's a favorite curse. It is. You better not murder me. I will not murder anyone. I'm just going to push some characters to their limits. Please tell me it's not Taichi he can't take anymore. He will have to take more. Because he's the stray cat of that relationship, so he's going to suffer. Especially with Moontober. I need to check the list. Yeah, Bloody Trail, Shadows of the Past, and Fever Dreams. That was Semishira Kawagata with Taichi cutting his arm. Shadows of the Past. That was Kyohaba Kinkuni with Hayahaba's eating disorder. And Fever Dreams was Kugu Inoshiba with Kugure getting fever. What did I do last year? Did I not do any Womptober last year? I was doing Christmas and winter stuff. That's true. I was actually quite proud of myself for that. Yeah, I think I wasn't doing anything last year for October. Shame on me. I need to step up my game. Haven't seen Bloody Trail. I do recommend watching that. October was Asanoya assassination. Where? When? I didn't assassinate Asanoya. Wait, that was October? The one with Asahi breaking down? You killed him in my heart. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, was it that one? I really don't know. I'm so bad at this. I could check on my PC, but I don't want to switch. Okay, let's see what's going on Womptober, because the list should be out already. Hopefully, at least. Every time you upload, I either cry and laugh so hard. That's the point. I'm happy to hear that. Womptober. Let's see. Do we have a list? Okay, Trope Vote 2026. Okay, it seems like we don't have a list yet. Okay. That's kind of annoying. I wanted to check. Come on. The vote will be open until 27th of July. Okay, so I think in August they should release the list. Yeah, we aim to have the prompts list ready for the end of August. Okay. So enough time before that, and still some time to get ready after that. So, okay. We will see at the end of August what they come up with, and I'm very much looking forward to that. I could do like the bad things happen bingo again, but I will wait for Womptober. That Asana had me actually sobbing, and I hated it for at least a month. Okay, I'm actually kind of proud of myself for that. Like, I do admit that it made me cry a little as well, like when I was voicing it. Not all of the choked sentences were acted, which is good because sometimes when it happens, it actually helps a lot when voicing the characters. So, it's fine. Cookie for less Taichi torture. No, 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 no. Taichi needs more torture. I actually got a request in the like request form. I'm still going through it. I just didn't have time to include any of that, but I am writing down some interesting ideas from it. Yeah, I was reading through the requests, and there was one to give the other characters or the other parts of the Semishira Kawagata relationship some angst too, because it's all Taichi. Like, sorry, every time I create a new Polish ship, I will choose one person to be the stray cat, and that person is going to suffer. It's Dashio, it's Yahaba, it's Taichi, it's Kugure, and it's Sakusa. And I have a new Polish ship prepared, however, I don't know when I'm going to launch it because I don't have time. But yeah, I have a new polish ship lined up. I've never watched it again for my sanity. Taichi will simply not exist if he keeps almost dying. Yeah. Wouldn't that be a shame? Wouldn't that be a shame? Indeed. New one you say. Uh, I'm not sure if you can guess this one. Because I don't think I've ever mentioned it before. That I was planning to write anything for them. I'm actually not 100% sure how to make their dynamic work. However, I have seen some stories of them, and I have some rough idea on how to work with them. However, it's going to take a little while. And again, as I said, I don't have time to include a new ship, so it's going to take a little while. Maybe next year. You will see. I'm magical. Okay, try and guess. I'm curious if you can guess this one. I had a question about Sakuatsu Arankita. Are you going to do a full video on how Sakuatsu Arankita actually came together in your story? Kinda. I do have that. Um, I do have that in my notes. Like how they were created, quote unquote. Because that's one of the most important parts when I'm creating a new Polish ship is how they met. Um, you know, like for example, for Samishira Kawagata or for Kyohaba Kinkuni, it's clear how they met, and the getting together parts aren't as difficult to imagine. However, for example, for Terusho and Otana, it was slightly more difficult to put it together, so it made sense with the story I was planning. So for this new one, I also have some like backstory for them in regards to forming the relationships. I do have one for Sakuatsu Arankita. I kinda hinted on it in past videos already. And why am I green? Is it just the screen or am I green? What the fuck? Oh dear. Never mind. I will be green for the rest of the video, or for the rest of the stream. Yeah. So I will include it later on. The rest of it at least, because a lot. It's tied a lot to why Sakusa feels the way he does in the relationship, which also wasn't fully revealed yet, because we weren't in his head enough to like reveal how he actually feels about the relationship and how he feels in that relationship. So later, when I get to that point, when I'm in Sakusa's head a little more, then I will do a video on how they got together. So the answer is no. Answer is no to what? To if I'm going to do a full video or if I'm going to stop torturing Taichi. What's the Polish ship with Kogana and Goshiki? Depends. I've seen a few. The one with Sakunami. That's cute. That's a cute one. But no, that's not the one. But it's a cute one. I did actually ship Kogane with Sakunami first before Kogagoshi came to my mind or came across my feet, let's say. Um, yeah, so Kogagoshi Saku, I think it's called. And it's a cute one. I like that one. It kind of reminds me of Kugu Inushiba in a way. You know, you have the really tall puppy and the shortest libero, and somewhere in the middle there's the third one. Why do I Loki ship Love's sister and Akiteru? That's an interesting one. I don't think I've seen anyone do that ship yet. But hey, whatever floats your boat, or whatever that saying is. Yeah, sure, go ahead. My head hurts because I fell off my bunk. Oh dear. This again. Well, what are you doing? I have meant to catch me. Yeah? In your case? Thank goodness. At least someone is catching you. Into the body pillow. No. She has an actual man to catch her. Which is fortunate because, you know, Wealth is a little accident prone. And when I say little, I mean a lot. Sometimes I am surprised she's still alive. I will say it like this. So, take whatever you want from that. Why am I so annoyed by that microphone today? Anyway. My brother has a body pillow. I was actually thinking about buying myself a body pillow. Body pillow. Not like anime one, but a normal body pillow. You know, the one that you hug and it's supposed to help your sleep schedule and your sleeping. It's a stupid name. Don't talk about your savior like this. Who will be taking you to hot dog eating competitions? It's got anime girl on it. Of course it does. Yeah. So I was thinking about buying myself a body pillow. My dad actually has one. Normal one, not anime one, obviously. And he's content with it, so I was kind of wondering if I should get myself one too. The issue is I would probably don't know. I would probably not know how to sleep with it because I sleep quite weirdly as of lately, and it's my cat's fault because I learned to sleep on my back because of her. I've never in my whole life until 2021, let's say, I've never slept on my back. I always sleep on my side. But for some reason, my cat trained me to turn on my back and to sleep on my back when she wants to lay on me. So now it's actually more comfortable for me to fall asleep on my back than on my side. And I don't know if I like it or hate it. I just had one of Hatsune Miku. It's stuck. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so body pillows. Great. Yeah. God. I'm still thinking if I want to open that box or not. Because it's still not the box I'm waiting for. However, good news, the box with cards is going through customs. Finally. I was kind of hoping it would go through on Friday, like yesterday, and that I could pick it up on Monday. Unfortunately, it did not, so I'm expecting it to arrive on Tuesday, which is annoying because it's going to be my mom who is going to be like picking it up, which means she will have to pay the customs, and she's going to be annoying about it because with the new customs and like the increase in taxes for non-European goods in EU, it got really expensive. How did we go from Woontober to body pillows? I don't know, you started it. I ordered a PC back in December and it's arriving tomorrow. Nice. That's good. Reminds me that I should upgrade my computer, but unfortunately I don't have the financial sources right now. I am still recovering from purchasing this thing. Uh, Nobody's home to pick it up. That's annoying. Yeah, I get that. Because when no one is here to pick up the packages that have customs on it, it's annoying because then I have to go personally to the post office with the stupidest opening hours you can imagine, because they won't give it to anyone who doesn't have my ID or who doesn't have ID. So I have to go there personally with an ID to pay the customs and get the package. And it's so annoying because the only time I can do that is on Wednesday. I can't do it any other day because they always close before I even get off work. So, and my work is an hour from my home, so I have an hour-long commute. Annoying. Yeah, or 5,000 miles away from the dorms. The last time something international arrived, they delivered it to the wrong complex. Even more annoying. Annoying human is traveling with me. At least he's traveling with you. Unless he's being too annoying, obviously. Sometimes it's good to travel alone. Which kind of brings me to the point that I wanted to talk about the most, which is next year. It's going to be very interesting. He's snoring. That's honestly a little deal breaker for me because whenever we go on a vacation with my parents, which isn't often, but you know, I always have to get a separate room from especially my mom because she snores like like a grown ass man. You know, that's chainsaw kind of snoring. And I can't sleep. Even when I put earplugs in, I still can't sleep, so I have to get my own room. Got me and then fell asleep on the floor snoring. Hey, but at least you know he has reflexes to catch you in his sleep. That's good. It's actually giving me ideas for stories. You know, always looking for inspiration. This is so nice. I love talking to you all so much. Like, unironically. Like, unironically, because it's taking my mind away from the overthinking spiral I've been on for the last few days. Who do we think has more blackmail, Suna or Tsuki? Suna, definitely. He has photo evidence. That's more important. Tsuki may know, like, gossip and stuff, but Suna has photo evidence. and that's more valuable. Yeah. The thing is, I'm trying to think. Don't mind me. Do we want my latest travel mishap? Yes. Share, please. I'm curious about your travel mishaps. Um, I'm still slightly concerned about the lack of organization in my work after we got bought out, because our new owners are so annoying to be dealing with. Like, because they are our clients for to an extent, you know. Um this is this is so that talk doesn't stand, you know. So it's not quiet until Valve goes on with her travel mishaps. And because this is kind of travel related. And yeah, they are so annoying. I hate working with them. I hate seeing like their requests pop up because I know there are going to be issues. And I didn't expect to get into that phase so fast because I've been working there for a year and a half, almost exactly at this point. And I am currently at the stage where I just don't care anymore. I I can't even get mad properly because I don't care. I can't bring myself to care because then I know I will be losing my sanity, and I don't want to do that because of this job. And it's so annoying because when they bought us out, they said like, "Oh, hey, for like year or 2 years, everything is going to go without change before we have everything ready." The biggest issue is that we, as a small company, had our own system that we were working on, or working in, or we are still working in. And they have their own system, their own program they work in, which is 30 years old. Like, I don't know if you can imagine it, but this is market research is an industry that goes forward quite fast. And they are still using something made in the 90s. It's horrible. I've seen glimpses and it's awful. And they want us to go from our great system that has everything you need to their system because they don't want to change anything. Because it's been working for 27 years, so it's going to be working even further. And whenever we say, hey, maybe we could like implement this part of our system into yours, and it's like, no, it's been working. We don't want that. You're just going to like have to adjust. Like, what? I genuinely don't understand how this company managed to become this big with such backward thinking. I don't understand. Well, I do understand because they have monopoly in Nordics, and whenever they see some potential bigger competition, they just buy it and include them in like their family, let's say. So I do believe that in like 10 years they will have monopoly over the whole market research in Europe, and it's so annoying. And I hate it, and I don't want to be part of it. Okay, let's go. Valve is writing a whole essay. So, annoying human ended up forgetting his passport in Korea. Nice. Had to take a layover back there. Very nice. Ended up losing my dorm card. Pretty sure that was pickpocketed. But put in a request for a new one. That arrived to my parents' house. Nice. Bad news, my parents aren't even allowed home due to that earthquake. Yeah. So my dorm card is in the wreckage. Great. Perfect. My annoying human never found his passport and had to use his copy. Jeez. Are you sure, like, your proneness to accidents isn't infectious? You know, not to accuse you or anything, but you know, they say stupidity is infectious, so maybe proneness to accidents is also infectious? Maybe? His mom is pissed that I'm getting you one for him. I'm not surprised. I would also be pissed if I was trying to get not even my own passport that I lost by my own fault. Yeah. I do understand the annoyance. This man is lucky that I told him to bring a copy. Yeah. At least he returned the favor in a way by catching you, you know, and saving you from injuring yourself. I would count that as a repayment. Yeah, I would count that as a repayment. Stuff is not fictitious. Okay. It's not 2 decibels. Oh, it's because of snoring. Okay, yeah. I thought he was so annoying you wanted to kill him. Okay. Oh dear. At least it's funny. I always have great fun when I stream. I'm so happy for that. Even though I complain about stuff a lot of time on here, I feel that way at times when he refuses my food. Okay, that would be a deal breaker for me because if I put effort into cooking something or creating something and someone else decided, like, refuses it, done. I need a new chair. Even I don't want to eat my own food. No. That's mean to yourself. Come on. Of course you did. Of course you did. Sorry. 22%? Okay, I would never cook for someone like that ever again. Like, if they're going to refuse the food in in 5 cases, nah. I'm not putting the effort in. Absolutely not. I don't know if I'm selfish in this regard, but like, especially with food, I have an issue with sharing. And it's not because of some trauma or anything, or at least I don't think so. Because I'm an only child. We never had like severe lack of food anywhere. But I think it comes down to me being lazy. So when I put an effort into something, especially cooking, then I have a issue with sharing with someone else and like not quote unquote reaping the rewards myself. So when I cook for someone, it's a big deal. Hey, I'm you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. I have about 5 siblings. Yeah, I can see how you are used to sharing. How how do all of you have so many siblings? Jesus Christ. The older I am, the happier I am. I'm an only child. I don't know if it's just my nature or like I'm becoming more introverted year by year, but I actually wanted a sibling when I was younger, but I wanted an older sibling, which was kind of, you know, impossible. Um, but the older I am, the more the happier I am that I'm an only child because I don't have to share my space with anyone. I can just close myself here and be happy. It's annoying because I don't have anyone to share costs when I travel. But hey, that's the that's the least sacrifice, I would say. Mustache step and half. Okay, fair enough. My parents got freaky in the 90s. Okay. Also fair enough. I wish I shared a room with my sister. Ah, yeah. Oh, okay. Never mind. Uh, got lost in thought there. Growing up, I had my sister's bike with the messed up handlebars. Ended up crashing. Of course you did. Is that the one you got your leg pierced, or which one was it? Stomach got pierced. Okay. I know you said you got pierced somewhere. I was of the impression it was your thigh or something like that. But yeah, okay. Forgot the body part, but I do remember the circumstances. That was the bike. Okay, yeah. See, I remember at least something. My memory is not as great as it used to be, but I do remember something. Crashed into a tree and it stabbed me. Yeah, I do remember you telling us that. As one of your many, many accidents when you were young. And the stream doesn't stop even now. You know. You know, the more I listen to you, the more glad I am that, like, I am clumsy. I think I talked about it before. There was not a one trip when I wouldn't fall. But the more I listen to you, the more glad I am that it was just that. That I'm just clumsy and not accident prone. Wonder if this will end before I turn 20. Well, you don't have much time, so we will see. I don't know much about you, but all I can tell is you're very accident prone. You haven't seen nothing yet. Uh, Stick around for a little longer and you will see. You will see the true extent. But hey, as long as Valve is staying alive, it's fine, I suppose. Uh, I, I gave up on being worried. So I'm just glad she's alive. That's all I need to know. Like, seeing her on every premiere is enough for me to be calm about her state. Let's say it like that. Like Marinette Clumsy from Miraculous Ladybug. I've never seen Miraculous Ladybug. I think I've seen like one episode when I was on a sleepover at my friend's house. So I have no clue. If that question was aimed at me, of course. Um, okay, back to what I was talking about before. Why am I holding scissors? Yeah, back to my complaining. Um, Next year is going to be very much interesting, and it's because they want to get us on their system by the beginning of the next year, which means that we will be learning with a completely new system. I don't want to do that, so I am kind of forging a plan on what to do about everything, and I did decide to finally get myself a tour guide, like travel guide license, which I was like thinking about for the last 4 years approximately, or maybe not 4 years, but for a while now. So I'm finally going to do that. Hopefully in October, I'm going to go for a course, and then in November or December, I will take the exam. Fingers crossed it's going to go well, and I will get the certification that I need. And next year is going to be difficult, or not difficult, but interesting, because I will resume my search for job in travel industry, and hopefully, I'm very much hoping that it's going to happen. I will find a job as a tour guide or like travel guide, hopefully with some smaller groups, because I'm not doing well with big groups of people. And then I I am seriously considering going to Japan for like a month or 2 months maybe, and just like, renting an apartment and staying there for a month, 2 months approximately, to like really get to know the country, because I would like to like improve my chances of being a good tour guide, and like make it better, look better on the CVs and motivational, or like the, how do you call it in English, the letter you send with CVs sometimes when you are asking for a job or applying for a job. And yeah, but that will solely depend whether I will be able to get at least the part-time job that I'm eyeing as of now, which is content writer for a travel blog that I've been following for a long time. And they have like these structured guides for each country pretty much, and for like cities, and to see like lists of places to see, what the food, traditional food is, whether, transportation, visas, blah blah blah, all the information you would need when you want to travel somewhere without travel agency. So if that's going to happen and I will be able to start working on that, then I think 1 or 2 months in Japan could happen. So for the last few days, I've been actually actively apartment hunting for absolutely no reason, because it's next year. It's definitely not going to happen in spring. Summer is off the table in Japan because I would die in that heat. So it's going to be autumn next year at the earliest. So I'm doing this just to not get bored, I suppose, at work. So yeah, just so you know what I'm doing right now and what I'm planning for next year. Not that it's any interest of you in the regard that it doesn't have anything to do with the channel. But hey, I needed to complain and I wanted to talk about it with someone, or at least like talk out loud about it, because I don't want to talk about it with my mother or with my mom, because it's so far ahead and I don't want to jinx my plans too much by, like, already imagining that I got the job that I wanted, and it usually doesn't go that way, and then I'm just disappointed. So, because I jinxed myself, that's how it usually goes. Um, yeah. So I just wanted to talk out loud about it to make it more solid, I suppose. Like, make that idea a little bit more solid. I sometimes talk about it with the guy that teaches us English at work, but unfortunately, I can only do that when I'm alone in that lesson and I don't have my colleague and then another colleague online along on that lesson. So I didn't have the chance to do that as of lately. So I'm telling you. Scissors for the boss. Not our boss. Our boss is fine. Like, it's a little difficult with him sometimes, but he's actually the first boss I have, or I've had so far, that I feel like really has our backs. Like, he really tries to protect us from the big corporation and just like take on all the shit that comes with the corporation and like the new leadership, and leave us at peace to work, to do our job the way we are supposed to. So I am very much grateful for my boss in this regard. Like, obviously it's a little difficult to talk to him sometimes because he doesn't know the system but wants to know everything, like wants to know what's going to happen with certain projects, and he's getting me in trouble sometimes because I sent him a because normally when we create pricing for a certain, or feasibility and pricing for a certain project or for certain requests, we have to send it to the management to like approve of, if we can send that, usually for mm, like bigger costs, like over, what is it, over 2,000 euros, has to be checked by the management. And when our manager isn't there, then we have to send it to our boss or the CEO. And sometimes it's funny because I can see that we don't have the feasibility to do a certain project because those people just aren't part of that panel that we have. But he's like, yeah, we can do that, let's do this number. And like, I know it's not going to happen, but I'm going to be the idiot who offers that bigger feasibility, and then it's going to be me who will have to tell the client, like, sorry, we don't have the people you need. And it's going to be awkward, and it's going to be my issue when it wasn't supposed to be my issue. So But otherwise, our boss is great. Has Snare and Nekoma been alright? Um, like overall, or concerning the heat in Japan, or something like that? Like they did a stream recently, like a week ago, I think. I was there, and they seemed fine to me for the most part. Besides, like the obvious their health issues, you know. So I think they are fine. They still didn't answer my message. That's true. However, I know they've been reposting stuff on TikTok, so if they are well enough to repost stuff on TikTok, then I think it's not as horrible. That sounds kind of like Dr. Misogyny talking to people with depression. I am aware of that. It wasn't supposed to sound like that, but you know what I mean. They are alive. Let's say it like that. And I'm kind of used to waiting for answers to my messages, so I wouldn't read too much into it. Hi, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Compared to Australia and Japanese would be a dream. Weather? Like summer heat? I think Australian and Japanese summers are very much different. um, like Japanese heat is humid, very humid. Whether I would say that Austrian summer is dry, I think. So there is a difference. And my throat is betraying me. So probably no reading today, unfortunately. When I was in America, it was hell. Yeah, I believe that. Especially since you were in the south, I think, right? You said. I could see the air. Oof. Sounds awful. I hate summer. It's no secret that I hate heat. I hate summer with burning passion. I know it sounds ironic, but I do hate summer with burning passion. I don't want summer. And the fact that we are heading into another heat wave is killing me already. And it's going to kill me later. No beaches, big snakes, big spiders, bushfires, horrible. Uh, yeah. I mean, Japan has spiders, quite big ones, especially in summer, which is another reason why I would never travel to Japan in summer, because there are spiders everywhere. I hate spiders. I love winters. Me too! I love anything that's not summer. More flashbacks from Black Summer fires. Yeah, well, I can't imagine, but I do understand that bushfires are scary as fuck. Could see the air and it would melt my shoes. Jesus Christ. I love autumn, winter gets too cold where I live. That's fair. Yeah. Autumn and spring are probably the best. I am happy with winter because I don't mind cold. Obviously, when you look at me, I have a lot of blubber under my skin, so I am equipped to deal with winter. But yeah, I do love autumn and spring a lot. Those are autumn is probably my favorite. Even with the rain and stuff, I like rain as long as it's not raining on me. Winter for us is like usually -1 to 16 regularly. That's autumn here where I am. Well, I believe Australians call anything under 20 degrees cold. So it's kind of Australian opinion on temperature is not a measurement. Sometimes get to -32. Well, yeah, you are the second extreme, you know? Like, Russia is the second extreme when it comes to temperature. So. But to be fair, we don't get snow because of our ozone layer. We also don't get snow as of lately because of global warming, which some of our politicians still refuse to admit is happening. So, yeah. But we did get snow this year. Not as much as we used to, obviously, but it stayed on for surprisingly long. It was just one time, but hey, at least something. Yeah, well, you are also the second. You are also the second extreme, you know. Orange. No, I'm not even talking about the orange guy. I am talking about our Czech politicians, like our minister of environment or like environmental stuff is a global warming denier. Like, do you see that irony? Jesus Christ. Can't help but be in awe of your hairstyle. It looks so cool. Does it? I think it looks awful at this point. Because for some reason, I now have to wash my hair twice as much as I used to. And I washed my hair on Thursday, so it's like second full day, and it looks awful. Next thing he's going to say is the Earth is flat. Don't jinx it. He's very much capable of that. I don't even have a definite position. Yeah. Let's go away from politics. Let's not drag politics in here because I don't want to ruin my mood. I know politics is important to talk about, obviously, but let's not ruin our evening slash morning for you. And let's go somewhere else. Where were we before I started to complain? I will have to probably I will probably have to end the stream soon. My voice is leaving me. Jesus. It's midnight here. Everyone is so ahead. It's only 8 a.m. 8 a.m. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. here. Okay. Yeah, I like snow. I like snow. Not when I have to shovel it, of course, but otherwise I do love snow. Yeah, okay, I will have to end the stream already because my voice is cracking. And I would like to record something tomorrow, so unfortunately I had a great time. I hope you did too. But snow gives me a headache. Yeah, that's possible if you are looking too much into the whiteness. I've never seen snow. Aw. Especially when it reaches a first floor building. Yeah, I can imagine that gives headache. Yeah, you don't have to even look into the shining whiteness of the snow. That's another kind of headache, I would say. Yeah, so yeah, I will end the stream in a bit because I would like to talk tomorrow. We needed a crane to get out. Oh dear. I mean, at once, like on one hand, it's a fascinating thing to imagine. On the other hand, I do imagine that it's really frustrating. my tattoo color. I'm not sorry. Yeah. Okay, so before we get to another topic that would start a discussion that I wouldn't be able to leave, thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for listening to my rambling, and thank you for sharing your stories. It was very much entertaining, and I love you for this, and I love my community for this so much. And we will see each other soon ish, hopefully next week. Yeah. See you next time. Bye bye.